Ready?
Yeah, no.
Good, okay. Welcome to another episode of Learning Happy Hour. I'm your host, Renan, and I have today with me someone special. We've got Hadi here from Melbourne. Hadi, please introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself.
Sure. Hi, Renan, and thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here, very excited to be part of your show, Learning Happy Hour. About myself.
Yeah.
Melbourne has been home for the last 6 years. Palo Alto has been the company for the last 2.5 years.
Cool.
And I know you for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? We've been friends since 2019-18. I guess I can talk about my hobbies. I love football, like the English football.
Yeah, real football.
Soccer.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's okay, we call it football.
Yeah, I play indoor soccer
Right.
once a week, and yeah, I'm into bouldering, gym, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so bouldering, I had to Google this because I'm like, what's the difference between rock climbing and bouldering? So what is the difference?
They're the same. The only difference would be, I would say, I'm new to it as well, like 6 months. With bouldering, you don't have the harness, and the walls are short. So so you just climb up without a harness.
I told you. We're gonna go and try this out later. You come along for that journey.
Yeah.
Just a friendly reminder. I got a dislocated finger. I don't know if you know that. It's not dislocated anymore. You know how I got it?
Well, how?
Guess. You get one guess. Extreme sport.
I don't know.
Kite flying.
Oh.
No, serious. We were camping and I was flying a kite and I was running backwards and I tripped over one of those large sandstone blocks.
Yeah, okay.
You do, like ones that are like as big as a chair, and I flipped backwards and I did a backwards cartwheel. I can't do backflips, but I landed on my finger and it bent backwards.
That's not kite flying, right?
I was flying kites. It's legit. Extreme sport. Anyway,
yeah, cool.
Perfect. So
no, we will go easy on easy walls. I haven't been into the gym for the last 6-7 weeks, so yeah.
Gotcha. I am genuinely worried. So you'll take care of me.
Don't worry. Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got you. I dragged you into this episode of Learning Happy Hour because we've got an interesting scenario. I've had a lot of questions in some of the classes we teach around deploying our VM series firewalls, not just on on-prem gear, but how do I do this in cloud provider X, whatever one you choose. And you've got quite a bit of experience in that area, unlike me. So for me, the last kind of VM series thing I did in the cloud was an AWS deployment. I kind of remember how many years ago it was. Like a long time ago. I think it was when maybe PanOS 6.0 came out.
Yeah.
And the poor customer I was working with, they were very awesome about it because they knew it's a new frontier. But things have changed a lot.
Yeah.
How we license it, how you deploy it, best practices, documentation that we have, architecture. Like there's so much different than when I did it ages ago.
One part is the product from our side has changed. The other side is also the cloud service providers have changed as well. AWS was the big one back in, I don't know, when you said 10 years ago.
Or something.
So, but now, we support almost all the major cloud providers, and because of the inherent differences between cloud providers, there are different design guides and best practices around deploying VM service. So that's.
Are there different best practices for depending on which cloud provider you go with? Like, is there an Azure best practice?
Yes, actually, Right. Probably we'll go and talk about those documentations, but we have different reference guides around different cloud providers. Like Azure has its own reference guide, its own design guide.
Oh, awesome.
AWS, GCP, and so on and so forth.
So for today, you've prepared something really awesome for us.
Yes.
So just a bit of background as well. So we're continuing this journey of this fictitious company, amazing company called Cafe Coffee Co. Some of you may have heard of this wonderful company from our Palo Alto Networks training EDU 214 best practices course. Oh, amazing course. But that was the mock company that existed in there. So what we're doing now is, and correct me if I'm wrong, our scenario is that Cafe Coffee Co. wants to expand. They want to run a public web server, but they want it to be in a cloud provider. They've gone with Azure in this case, or Azure, however you want to pronounce it. And we obviously want to protect it. So we need to have this resource out on the internet, and we want it to be protected behind a Palo Alto's firewall. Now, there's many different ways of doing this, and we've gone with VM series deployment, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, Cafe Coffee Co. First of all, you founded Cafe Coffee Co. So, so I remember. It's a catchy name.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with the Cafe Coffee Co, as you said, we have Azure as our main cloud provider. We're running the app there. Now, what we are doing is we are trying to run a testing environment, a pre-production environment to test our web applications.
Right.
And that's the idea, because basically the design for a proof of concept or a testing environment can be different from a production environment. And we have chosen to basically go for a pre-prod environment. So yeah.
So we're kind of keeping it simple.
Yeah, kind of keeping it simple, and we don't want to spend so much resource on our Azure
we just got to get it rolling out there, Fair enough. We'll start small.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's then start having a look at what we can do. So we're starting at like ground zero, right?
Yeah.
We have we have a Cafe Coffee Co server that has some content, but we don't have Panorama or Firewalls or anything like that, right?
Yeah, we have Panorama, but not fully functional.
Yeah, okay, not ready to. Okay, perfect. So it's like a ground zero Panorama, but nothing else has been built.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I've done some drawing actually. Maybe it can help.
Yeah, sure. Let's take a look.
So what we have is like a simple website, as we said, our testing website. We call it web app, right? We're running it in a virtual network called AppVNet, right? Simple as this diagram, right? And the plan is for future, we might have more apps and different nature of apps. So different VNets, different virtual networks, and we'll deploy these apps in, let's say, the various virtual networks. Okay?
Yeah, gotcha.
So that's the idea for expansion.
So for now, though,
for now, we only have one, right? So, and as you said, the idea is to secure traffic to and from this app.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So protect the app. And this is the design model that we're going to go for.
Yep.
Right? So we are using our Veeam Series Firewall to secure the web application, inbound traffic, outbound traffic to the web app. So bottom right corner, we have our web app. Then what we are going to do, by the way, this design is taken from that reference architecture guide.
Okay.
Right? So the idea is we have a central I would say, processing point, a central VNet that processes inbound, outbound, even east-west traffic coming to our VNets and going out of our VNets.
Okay. That
so,
makes sense.
So what we are going to do is we are going to deploy a virtual network. We call it transit virtual network. Then we have two firewalls, two VM series firewalls. Each firewall is going to have three interfaces. E0 is going to be part of a management subnet. E1 is going to be a public subnet, and E2 is going to be part of private subnet.
Which then connects to the VNet that has the server in it?
So yes. So these are the subnets, and then what happens here is because we have two firewalls, we want to make sure the flows are being distributed between firewalls, right? So we're going to use load balancers to do that. Yeah. Okay. There's going to be an internal load balancer, a private load balancer, basically.
Yep.
Okay. So this load balancer is going to act as the default gateway for the entire app VNet, right? So the subnets we have in app VNet, they're going to point out to this private load balancer.
Yep.
And by the way, we need something called a VNet peering. Basically, we want to keep the traffic between VNets inside Azure Backbone. So we need to peer these to VNets.
Is that VNet peering thing part of, is that an Azure term?
Yes, it's an Azure term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because by default, these two VNets won't talk to each other.
Yeah, they isolate.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So resources in the VNets won't talk to each other. So basically, when there is outgoing traffic from this web app, it will hit the private load balancer. Private load balancer will distribute and forward traffic to one of the firewalls. Firewall does the inspection, and if the security controls, the security policy, or a bunch of other policies, if traffic is allowed, it's forwarded to internet. Or it can be even, let's say, we go for the expansion. We have another VNet for east-west traffic.
So another internal app, internal in Azure.
Exactly.
Okay. So the traffic you just mentioned, though, is all traffic that's initiated from deep inside Azure, from the server that we have hosted there.
Exactly.
The other direction, which is what I care more about, is people being able to visit our wonderful website.
Exactly. So exactly. That was like outbound traffic, east-west traffic. It can be web app or other apps to the web app. Yeah. For the inbound traffic, what we have is actually a public load balancer, right? So we have a load balancer, a standard Azure load balancer that is listening on port 80 on a public IP address.
Yep.
And we are going to define a DNS record for our Cafe Coffee code
is that the green one on the left there?
Yeah, this one here up here.
Yeah, okay. So that's got a public IP.
Yeah.
And as you said, then we just point DNS records.
Exactly.
www.cafecoffeeco.com points to that public IP.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So traffic is routed to our public load balancer. Public load balancer forwards it to one of the firewalls. Same story, right?
Yep.
Processing, and if the traffic is allowed, it's routed all the way to the web app. Of course, there are their policy, there's NAT policy, there's security policy, there's routing that we need to configure for the firewall. So,
But we get the full security stack.
Exactly.
And it is the full security stack.
This is the full security stack. The only thing is, as I said, this is for a pre-prod environment, right? We are, I would say, we are centralizing and we are kind of squeezing all those traffic flows into two firewalls, a set of firewall, right? In a production environment, the guide tells us to, the reference guide, the reference architecture guide tells us you need to have, or it's better to have a dedicated inbound firewall and a dedicated, let's say, outbound and east-west firewall. So that's something
that's not even really tiered architecture. That's just like split flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
by the way, none of this was ever mentioned or thought of back when I did my back in the day.
I mean, you were working in a different cloud service provider as well, so that has its own.
I'm working in a different era.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
True.
All right, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but then, so this is a firewall bit. Like we are going to deploy this as part of a Terraform script, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but we need a Panorama. I mean, we don't need it. We want to have a Panorama, right, to manage the firewalls. And the Panorama is already installed because I just wanted to keep the demo short. So I installed the Panorama in a separate VNet called Management VNet.
Okay.
The Panorama is unlicensed. We don't have a license. And the Panorama, so we can go through the licensing process and see what we have to offer as a new licensing model, which is a credit-based licensing model, basically.
All right. So currently, just to recap, what we have built is just that Panorama box.
Just the right side of
the right side, right?
Yeah.
Panorama and the web app.
Yes.
But Panorama is not licensed, but it is built. It exists.
Yes.
But those firewalls don't exist.
Yeah.
What about all the load balancing stuff?
Nothing in the left box, the transit VNet, nothing exists.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, okay, cool.
Cool.
So let's build it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But let's talk about licensing first, because
sure.
I mean, if you have the firewalls without licenses, we cannot use the security service subscription.
Well, actually, even before that, you mentioned that there's if you wanted to go into production, there's some architectural.
Oh yeah, let's bring that up. So one of my favorite domains is docs.paloaltonetworks.com.
I thought you were going to say google.com for sure. That's what I do in my classes.
So when you go to docs.paloaltonetworks.com under products, for network security, we have down here VM series, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to click on that and scroll down. There you go. Public Cloud Reference Architecture Guides.
Right, okay.
It's going to say read now. It will send me to another page, which I need to do some filtering here. So if I go and say Azure, clearly I've done it before.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Yeah. And let's say we are only focusing for network security for public cloud.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You have Panorama deployment. You have, I'm looking for securing applications.
I can see the AWS ones. They're in the middle. Oh no, that's Prism SD-WAN.
There you go.
Top right. Up one?
No, yeah, okay, that's one.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, so that's the deployment guide. There should be a design guide somewhere here as well. So, I mean, deployment guide has design details, but you get more details in the design guide. But that's basically, it's a publicly available document.
And that talks about those different scenarios you're talking about. Does it cover this pre-prod one that we're doing? Like
yeah. That's the one of the options, right? It's clearly document says it's a good practice to go for this model in a pre-prod environment or a proof of concept. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, there you go. That's the deployment guide, and it's a fairly new document as well.
Fresh. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. The licensing bit.
Yes.
Okay.
So right now we have a Panorama that's unlicensed, and we have an intention of deploying some VM series firewalls in Azure. So what's the first step?
I guess back in the early days, you said the old days, you had a licensing model. You're familiar with the VM models, VM 100, VM 300.
So we'd have to buy, well, I can't even, it's all a bit of a blur, but you'd buy a VM series on Azure. Oh, sorry, AWS is what I worked on. You could get BYOL, bring your own license, or you could pay as you go kind of thing. But it was still like you had different licensing tiers, and then each box would have to be separately licensed, and it was a bit messy.
Yeah, exactly. The BYOL or pay as you go, those are licensing types. They're still valid. But yeah, for the licensing models, we had a fixed model, which was like you had VM 100, 300, 500, right? And then you would have gone for different bundles of security service subscriptions. Bundle 1, bundle 2.
Yeah, I think there were only 2 options.
Not very flexible, not very scalable.
Not at all. And back then, once you deployed, you had to tear it down.
Yeah, exactly.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah. So we have replaced that kind of with a new model called credit-based model. Software NGFW credits. So I have here my customer support portal. I'm hoping you are going to blur that account name and ID.
No worries.
So we go under products all the way to software NGFW credits. I have an active credit pool here. Right. So I have different information here. I think I can skip that. I'm just going to go and talk about creating the deployment profile.
Okay.
That's where we are going to actually say what we want to license, and what kind of VM series firewalls we're licensing.
So just to recap then, you would purchase a pool of licenses, right? So I would say, I want, how much have we got there?
This is like 10,000 credits.
Okay, so I buy 10K worth of credits, and then at any point I can say, I'm going to use this many credits to deploy this product and that product. And I noticed there you had CN series as well as...
There's a CN. So the beauty of this credit concept is, first of all, it's cloud vendor agnostic, and it's private cloud agnostic as well. You can deploy it in a, let's say, ES6 hypervisor, right?
Yeah, right.
You can use a license and even move it from an ES6. Let's say I'm running firewalls, VM series firewall in a private cloud environment, and now I want to go to public cloud and reuse the licensing. I deactivate the firewalls there and use the same auth code to activate firewalls. And
this sounds like a fun opportunity for home labs.
Yeah.
Oh, my work has all these spare licenses. I'll borrow those to deploy and test in the lab, and when they need it back, I can. Or is that a bad idea?
Why not?
It depends on the organization. It depends on your company. Don't do anything like dodgy. But it means that if they're not in use, we can.
Yes, that's the thing. It's reusable, right?
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you can always basically return the credits back to the credit pool and reuse it for a different deployment.
Is that an easy process? I assume?
It's a very easy process. Yeah.
Okay.
So of course we need to do a bit of homework to figure out how many credits we want for.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. For Cafe Coffee Co, we need 10,000.
Okay. We're using all 10,000?
Yeah. No, not really. It's
not yet.
31% is allocated, and around 15% is
actually used.
So, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Basically. The licensing is started creating deployment profiles.
Yep.
Okay, so you have 2 firewall types. Here we need to go for VM series. That's what we are deploying. And then it comes to the fixed model and flexible model. So there's a fixed model in case you're running PanOS version lower than 10.0.4.
Is that the same as the old school that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Or you're migrating from the older school to, you need to first go.
Okay, I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
So you can have an old firewall, maybe its license is expiring. I say old, as in it's in Azure or AWS, it doesn't actually matter. Using an old box-by-box license structure, that license is
Okay,
expiring.
we're talking about VM series. Only
VM series file. Yeah, VM
yeah.
series file. But that license is expiring, but we've purchased these. Can I then like migrate from the, I don't want to relicense that one box. I want it to start consuming software NGFW. Okay, so I'm using the old licensing, and then I want to switch to software NGFW credits. I can do that. There's like a migration path or something?
There is a migration path. I would say talk to your SE.
Okay,
if you want account representative,
if you're going to take that path, then have a chat with your specialist SEs on that. That's fine. That's fair. But that's good to know, because then I guess you could consolidate.
Yeah, you can
make your inflexible environment
more
flexible.
Long story short, there is a migration process in place.
Yeah,
moving from the old model to new one. We are using a new deployment. The firewalls we are going to run are basically, the version is PanOS 10.2.3, I think. So it's clearly higher than this one. So I'm going to go for flexible vCPUs.
Why does Cafe Coffee Co not need V11? Where's my V11 stuff? There's some cool feature. Next time.
Next time.
Okay. Proof of concept. I like my V11.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So perfect. So we would pick between those two, the bottom one.
See, the idea is the credit is based on, let's select this one and let's go. It's based on vCPUs, basically the CPUs we allocate to the firewalls. Right. Now, the fixed one we had like 4 CPUs, 8 CPUs, or just dedicated and basically specific CPUs for each model, right?
Yeah.
Now here we can choose whatever CPU numbers we want, right? So let's call this Cafe Coffee Co. Learning Happy Hour, right?
Yeah.
Testing.
Sure.
Profile.
Okay.
There you go. I'm gonna say number of firewalls we need to. We saw them all, right? And the number of CPU per firewall is going to be 4.
Okay. Now, so we've got our 2 firewalls, 4 planned vCPUs.
Yeah, each firewall is going to have 4 CPU.
Yeah. And then we've got this security use case.
Yeah. So the security use case is basically what service subscription we want to enable. We can go for the custom one and pick and choose the service subscription we want. But since we are protecting an internet resource, a published resource to internet, so we're going to go for Internet Security Advanced.
I see.
And that populates.
Right.
Yeah.
So it takes all the subscriptions.
The customized subscription.
Got you.
Yeah.
And I guess depending on which subscriptions you choose will dictate how many of those NGFW credits are consumed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's do this. I'm just going to get rid of subscriptions. Let's estimate, and let's see the calculated estimated cost. Oh, okay. Can't do that.
Have to have something?
Yeah. Have to add something.
Let's
go custom and just pick
and have
one.
Something super... just untick everything except for Global Protect. And that's a use case. You might want to deploy just a Global Protect node in the cloud. Okay. No wildfire, no ATP.
That's the flexibility bit, right? So let's do.
What's it going to cost
and
us?
Let's say we don't want Panorama and the log collector for now.
Sure. So it's super vanilla, 38.64 credits.
Yeah, credits.
And are they that's a yearly? You have to maintain
Although these
your
are term-based credits, so you can have 1 year term-based credit up to I think 5 years. Again.
But if you were to release it's released instantly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's not like once you burn this, it's like you've committed to...
It's reusable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's reusable.
Super flexible.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So that's pretty. I don't know what a credit's worth, but that seems reasonable. If we started adding on some extra stuff like threat prevention.
So if I go for.
Oh yeah. Just switch it up to the one we want to use for Cafe Coffee Co.
Here.
Yeah.
And let's do another calculation.
There's a double.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are some kind of incentives around number of credits you use. For example, I think if your credits are comparable or higher than your firewall credits, the actual firewall that you're deploying, then you get 20% or something.
Okay. So
Yeah.
All right.
And there's a website on that. It's a public website, Credit Estimator, so you can go and play with the numbers and see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you show us that?
Okay.
Have you got access to it?
Now we are going
public,
for
right?
your favorite.
Yeah, the Google.
Google.
It's called credit. Palo Alto Networks.
Let's
credit.
say VM series credit.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Suggested second. First suggestions. What I was trying to say. Right. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, so it's this. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this in our classes. Yeah, that's really useful. Let's replicate. Well, hopefully
Let's
it comes
do
with
it.
the same answer.
So we have 2 firewalls, and we are going to say we are using flexible CPUs, even if we are using 4 CPUs, and the option was there.
Environment, we'll do exactly the same.
I'm gonna go for.
Oh.
You want to try AWS?
No, we'll go Azure. Keep it the same.
And so, yeah.
And then you just tick what you want.
Yeah, I think I need to.
Oh, there's your incentives, bottom right.
Exactly.
Yeah, 80% of firewall credits, you get 12% off subscription. Right.
Yeah.
For example, if firewall credits are 14 and you select enough subscriptions to have subscription credits greater than 80%.
So right now, like the firewall credits are 24. Now, if we match that number, that's 100%, right? Which one do I select?
Yeah, at the top there you can see. Right. Right, so you save 6 credits.
Yeah.
Because you're using more subscriptions than the base firewall.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is.
Oh, that's a really good resource. We'll put that in the description below. paloaltonetworks.com/resources tools.
Yeah, go back here. So are we happy with this?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, we're not actually. We were supposed to license our Panorama, right? Panorama isn't.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's not licensing.
If we had a Panorama, then we don't need to even worry about these checkboxes, right? But we don't have a Panorama, and we have a Panorama by unlicensed.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so we select this checkbox, which is going to allow us to provision a Panorama.
Understood.
Okay, and of course the credit. I'm just going to create it and.
Okay.
Again, I have multiple profiles here. So there you go. We have our profile. Now it's 71.64.
Because of the Panorama piece as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
So 2 firewalls plus Panorama.
Yeah.
And then you get an auth code as well.
Yeah, that's the auth code we're going to use to license our firewalls. And also there is this option here. Because we selected a checkbox, we can provision a Panorama.
Do I need to hide those auth codes?
What's that?
Do I need to hide those auth codes?
Yeah, you need to hide all these.
All right. No worries. Okay, so we provision Panorama now.
Provision Panorama.
I get you.
And it's a new Panorama. Okay, so I'm going to say provision one for me. And it's going to return a serial number for me. So if I go back here and say view devices. And go to Panorama. Or actually, the other way, the easiest way would be, let's go back here.
Devices?
Now, software NGFW credits. Because I have so many deployment profiles, I need to filter out. So because I'm lazy, I'm just going to go under provision Panorama.
Okay, and then it comes up now. Yeah. Right. So we grab the serial number now.
And going to use this to, this is my Panorama, so, right?
Yep, okay.
To license the Panorama.
So this is the Panorama that currently exists in Azure.
Exactly.
Unlicensed.
Unlicensed.
Ripe for licensing.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Do you remember the password?
I have the password here.
Oh, good. It's not just
I'm hoping it's the right password. It is.
Good job.
I see we don't have...
yeah, nothing's built yet. Okay, so there's no config on it.
Yeah,
it's a clean slate. I'm excited. This is way easier than I... it was a bit like magical and mystery before for me. Okay, let's see.
Okay, so it clearly says our Panorama
unlicensed.
Yeah, is unlicensed.
Now we don't have a serial number on this yet, so we can't retrieve license.
Look at here, the serial number says unknown.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it is literally fresh as fresh can be.
Yeah, I guess I have to say complete manually and say OK here. Then I go all the way to Panorama tab.
Yep.
Setup, general settings.
Yep.
Did I click? I didn't. No, I did. So there you go. Here we set that serial number.
Yep.
There you have it.
Yeah. Do you need to commit after that?
No. The only thing is I need to refresh.
It is a management planey kind of thing.
There you go. Proceed. Please don't ask for the password.
You can do it.
Cool. Okay. Let's say enable. Leave it.
Good metrics. All right.
Okay, so now it's going to retrieve the license.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah. And if I go back to my credit pool, what you will see here is, I'm hoping to see is...
It will start consuming that. Do you need to refresh this?
Yeah, I need to refresh this. So, yeah, if I go back to Panorama and go all the way to licensing, license down here, where we have it, licenses.
Yep.
There you go. We have a Panorama server.
Right.
The only thing is this is a management-only mode.
Yeah, so you select that, not log collector.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a management-only mode. Okay.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
All right.
Panorama is...
All right, so Panorama is now licensed and ready to use.
Yeah. Since we are in licensing, and we need to use the auth code we generated here to license our firewalls.
Right.
It's good to talk about a fairly new plugin around software firewall licensing, which helps us to automate the VM series licensing.
Right.
Okay. I mean, when I say licensing and delicensing, so activating and deactivating the firewalls.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Shall we talk about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So if I go to Panorama tab, which is I'm already in, and I go for plugins, need to check now to get all the plugins. And let's search for. So software firewall license plugins. We have 4 versions so far. I'm going to go for the latest one, which is 1.1.2. Download that plugin.
So just while that's downloading, the purpose of this plugin is to enable Panorama to both assign and retrieve, remove licenses and activation for firewalls that we're managing.
Yeah, so instead of like Firewall is going to talk to the update server license server directly, Panorama is going to register firewalls, and the only thing firewalls need to do needs to authenticate themselves to Panorama, and then Panorama will take care of firewall registration process. It's very helpful in the case that we are running firewalls in a air-gapped environment, or firewalls don't have internet access when they boot up, or they're deployed. So,
interesting scenario then. If we had a firewall that was fetching the license itself, like historically they've done, and it's in a virtual environment, like a lab environment, and then that lab environment gets torn down. We don't have a way of, like, I assume there's some process for retrieving those Flex assigned next-gen firewall licenses. So
you need to delicense that firewall, right? As part of the plugin can help you to deactivate and delicense the firewall.
It gives you a single pane of glass, which is independent. You've got some lab environments, you've got some other firewalls. It doesn't matter what's going on over there. We can log into Panorama and retrieve.
There's a caveat there as well, but we need to make sure we have set the API key, licensing API key on the Panorama for the deactivation. That's part of the deal as well. Like, you need to make sure.
Does Panorama need to communicate with the firewall to?
No, it's for the deactivation.
Yeah. Like if a firewall
if the firewall is deleted. I haven't tested that. I have tested. At the end of the demo, we can deactivate the running firewalls. I haven't done for disconnected or basically
what happens if the firewall?
Destructive firewall.
Because it's a use case I can see. Because earlier, like I said, it'd be
Yeah.
cool. You got some credits. We can build a lab.
Yeah.
What if you do that and someone at home's like, oh, I don't need this anymore. I'll delete it.
Yeah.
If Panorama can no longer talk to those firewalls, I'd be interested to see how easy it would be to retrieve.
What we can do, we can delete one of the firewalls at the end of the demo and come back and see if we can deactivate a firewall from Panorama. I mean, the thing is, our firewalls are going to have internet access anyways. So let's try that.
Can we just accidentally delete them?
Accidentally?
Right at the end?
Yeah, we can shut them down and then delete them.
Shut them down. Yeah, okay. Let's try that. Okay, well, let's continue. Sorry. It's just interesting.
Tough questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so downloaded the plugin. Let's install it.
Yeah.
So we said license automation. Someone might argue as part of bootstrapping, we can automate the license installation, right? The counter argument would be, what if the firewall doesn't have internet access?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the...
So now we have a new section in Panorama, courtesy of our plugin.
Yeah. It's for software firewalls, right?
Yeah.
Licensing software firewalls. And now we have two tabs here, Bootstrap definition and license manager. So under Bootstrap definition, the auth code we generated as part of our deployment profile here.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to use that. Let's say Cafe Coffee Co. Bootstrap.
Too many C's there.
I think I have 4 now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cafe Coffee Co. Certified. Certified Cafe Coffee Co.
Okay. There you have it. That's one part. And for the second part, actually, I need a device group and a template stack, which I clearly don't have it.
Okay.
But what I have is a baseline configuration. Okay. So I'm gonna import that baseline configuration and use that for our firewall policy network and
so that just contains a device group, a template, and some basic policies and things.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay. So by the way, all the resources that I've used for this lab is in GitHub, so you can share it with with your audience.
All right, perfect. Okay, we'll put that in the description as well. So if you want any of the config file that has the device groups,
the config file, the Terraform scripts for deploying the server, and the Panorama. No, there's no hotcuts.
Okay,
I made sure.
Good. All right, let's have a quick break.
Yeah, cool.
When we come back, this will all be loaded up, and we'll go from there. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Learning Happy Hour. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in certification or further development and training through Palo Alto Networks, we have a number of instructor-led training courses available. Just visit us at paloaltonetworks.com/services/education, and you'll find ILT, instructor-led training, certification details, and some digital learning too. All right. Cool. Nice quick break. So where did we leave it? Okay, we've now uploaded the config. So as you can see, we've got device groups and templates. Awesome.
Exactly.
What's next?
We can have a tour of the configuration later on, but now we were basically we defined our bootstrapping definition, which is using that auth code, right? And the second bit is configuring something called a license manager.
Right.
Okay. So again, let's say Cafe Coffee Co. license manager, and here we're going to basically select the device group and template stack.
Right.
That we already defined. Azure Transit device group is the one that has the policy for our firewalls.
Yep.
And the template stack has all the network configuration for the firewalls.
So this is in the config file that we have on GitHub.
Exactly.
That anyone can download to look at. Okay. And the bootstrap definition. Gotcha. So this is kind of the glue that puts together.
Yeah. I mean, let's press OK, commit to Panorama, come back and look at the Bootstrap parameters. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I see it just there. Quick, commit.
So
I want to see.
Yeah. That's why it's committing. Let's look at this one here. Empty, right? Nothing there.
Until it finishes.
Until it finishes.
And then does it do like a cloud? Or not yet?
So, I mean, it's good to talk about bootstrapping a bit, right? So, what's the idea behind bootstrapping? I would say it's kind of automating the configuration process for the firewalls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have VM service firewalls deployed to come up. They have no configuration, no license, no content update.
Right.
Right. Even some would say it doesn't have my desired PanOS version. Right.
Yeah.
But we can do all those things using bootstrapping. When it comes to bootstrapping, we have like two methods. If you want to cover all the bases, we go for the complete one. Want to do just the basics. Tell the firewall who's your Panorama server, what's your name, and the default key, and stuff like that. Right?
Interesting.
We're going to use the basic method, which is basically we're giving some parameters to the firewall as can have different ways. It can be as basically what you call a custom data of the VM firewall, the virtual machine, or it can be as part of init config text file, which we have uploaded in case of Azure, let's say in a storage account.
Right, because historically, and I have pretty limited experience with bootstrapping, to be honest, but historically I've always just thought of the bootstrap file as a way to get initial config on. I didn't even think that you could possibly do dynamic updates, app ID engine stuff, PanOS itself. Like that's pretty interesting. So you roll out a firewall, doesn't matter if it's an old version of PanOS, it's kind of our starting line, and you can include everything to get that firewall up to where it needs to be in that bootstrap. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's basically the complete way of doing it. See, there is, I would say, there's another approach which I like it. You can have also a custom image built. Let's say you have, you bring up a firewall, configure it, install the content updates and everything. Let's say content update and the right PanOS version, and create a custom image so you can deploy firewalls, the future firewalls using that custom image.
Right, so you're starting at a checkpoint.
But still you need to license the new firewall, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's the other way of. So basically the basic method is what you need to connect the firewalls to Panorama at the beginning, license them. We're going to license it using the licensing plugin. And okay, the commit is done. Let's go here and see the bootstrapping parameters. Oh, that's the device. It's a bit
of lag with the mouse.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Okay.
All right, bootstrap parameters.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have an auth key.
Auth key. Yeah, this is the interesting part. So we know from 10 I think it was 10.1, right? Whenever firewall connects to Panorama, it also needs an authentication key, right? To the IP of Panorama and authenticate itself to Panorama server. Now, with this auth key, firewall, we won't need to configure that authentication key for Panorama authentication, right? So, firewall, basically, we set these parameters as we see up here. On the firewall, let's say in our case, we're going to use custom data to bootstrap our firewall. So we set it as a custom data for the firewall. When firewall is up, it's in factory default state. It's going to connect using these parameters to Panorama and use that auth key
to authenticate
as well as say I need a license or register me.
So this
license server. So
can you do multiple? Is it multiple firewalls off the same auth key?
Well, our deployment profile is using two. Yeah. So we're going to use exact same parameters for both the firewalls. Yeah. Okay. Of course, we need more parameters because the firewall names are different, and so also we need to tell the firewall who's the Panorama server. So the Panorama IP address is not here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, let's leave it here for now. Actually, let's copy the auth key.
Okay.
So I think that's okay. This is a mistake I always make, and I
You need the
my
underscore.
Bootstrap face because I miss a character.
There's an underscore at the
Yeah,
start.
there's an underscore.
Does it always start with underscore?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Copy this one.
Yep.
Perfect. Hopefully I got everything. Okay. It also said, so when you go for the license manager, the configuration on license manager, there is something called auto deactivate, right? That's where, like, if the firewall is, let's say, not connected to Panorama, or it's disconnected from Panorama for, let's say, 24 hours, that's the max. 24 hours, Panorama will delicense the firewall, deactivate the firewall. Which means
recovers
the credits
license.
and
the credits. Yeah,
exactly.
Right. And 24 is the maximum. Interesting.
But so if we set it to never, which we'll do in our case, I mean, we need to be cautious. Like, there's a good chance that the firewall might be disconnected for some reason, right?
Sure.
And we don't want to deactivate a functioning firewall.
But that's why we want to check if we can manually do it after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. Leave it as never. Let's go.
Okay. Cool. And this deactivation, as I said, it requires the API key. So I've already have the command running here. So we set the API key, the license API key and Panorama. That's set. Okay, cool. Now I think we're ready to deploy our firewalls.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's scary. Let's do it. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use Terraform, as I said. Let's see where I am here. Let's go. I have a folder, I think I have a folder here called Learning Happy Hour. Learning Happy Hour, VM series, and then we have. You remember the design option? It was called Common Firewalls, right? So it's called Common VM series. By the way, Pandev is another great website to go, pan.dev. So I got the
Terraform script from there.
The template,
cool.
For Terraform script from there.
I use that a lot for XOR.
Yeah, we have templates for Azure, AWS, and GCP. Yeah, so and they're all based on the reference architecture.
We'll link that below as well.
Yeah, cool. So I'm here. Let's say Terraform. Oh, nope. Let's do one thing first. Let's make sure my Nano.
No.
Okay. Nano Terraform variables.
I use Nano as well, and people give me a lot of flack for it.
How
do you not use VR?
I'm mainly a VI user.
Oh,
you know, yeah.
Nano's
just
cool.
wanted to look cool. So terraform.tfvars. It has all the variables and their values for our main script, right?
Right.
So then we go to the VM series part.
Yep.
For each firewall, let's say firewall 1 in this case, I've already populated most of the Bootstrap option and parameters, like it's a DHCP client, the Panorama server IP address. The only thing I left
auth key equals
blank is auth key.
Right.
And that's the one that we just generated using the licensing plugin.
So the majority of this comes in the document that you get from pan.dev.
Yes.
But obviously not your auth key. But what about all the other stuff you typed in there?
No, the other stuff is, most of them are my stuff. Like I've put there, like I just wanted to make it,
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
Easy basically for myself. Yeah. So because the device group name is different for different environments, right? And the template stack, but the plugin op command, that's where we are telling firewall you're gonna talk to the
to go fetch a license.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this was the first one, the first firewall. There is Bootstrap option for number 2.
Right, and it's the same basically thing. With
everything is exactly the same.
Yeah. Except for the host name.
Oh yeah, sorry, the host name is different.
Yeah. Okay. And the zone, AV zone.
Which one?
The fourth one down, AV zone 1 and AV zone 2.
Those are different variables. So we're talking about Bootstrap dash options variable. So everything is the same.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Save it, run it, build.
I'm just going to do a cat to see if it's saved and grep it basically. Let's do a grep.
Grep Bootstrap.
Yeah. Strap. Terraform, let's say B3. Dash B3. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, so we've got
Looks
the auth
good,
keys
right?
in there, the underscores there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've made this mistake so many times. I've missed the character, so I just don't want to do it here now. Okay, looks good. Great.
So now this script is going to go and provision those two firewalls.
So this was actually the variables. The main script is main.tf, right? So yeah, if I go and say Terraform init, shall I Terraform here?
Now we're building using those variables.
And yeah, I've already downloaded all the modules that we need for this. I mean, we are going to deploy VNet peering, via load balancers, the VM series. So that's the part you need to go to pan.dev.
That's what I was about to ask. So that's where you'd get the documentation for how to do this.
And of course, they're like
before.
Terraform Azure Resource Manager modules as well. Yeah.
Cool. And then this will take.
So let's initialize, and then we're going to apply Terraform. As you can see, I make many typos. Okay, Terraform apply.
Fire in the hole.
Yeah.
And now we wait. So this depends on.
So it's going to basically plan the deployment, and then we're going to accept it by saying yes and yes. Yeah, we're just going to deploy the firewalls.
So it builds.
Yeah, it builds.
So then at the end of this, once these machines come online, well, they'll come online. They'll use that Bootstrap file with the variables.
Yeah.
They'll check in with Panorama. We've got an API key for it. They'll now be licensed. They'll be associated with a device group.
Okay. I missed something actually.
Oh, what did you?
Let's quickly go here.
Yeah.
So this was for licensing, right?
Yeah.
The other part, as you were mentioning, it was a configuration. Like it comes to Panorama, hey, do you have a configuration for me, and blah, blah. Mm-hmm. The other thing is we want to make sure firewalls have the right content update, because if we have defined a policy and
it's referring to an app or a virus definition that doesn't exist.
Yeah. So that's where we go under templates, and there's a new feature here, which is super helpful, which is super handy, and we're going to make sure it's already ticked.
Now that only is there because the plugin's installed, right? Or is this new in Panorama PanOS that I just don't know about? No, I haven't seen that.
No. This has nothing to do with the plugin.
Nothing to do with the plugin. Okay, I'm just getting old. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So automatically push content when software device VMware container registers. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we want to make sure
Otherwise,
the firewalls have the latest.
Failed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Content, and then there's going to be a Panorama push.
Now, what associates the firewalls that we're building with this specific template stack?
If you remember, as part of bootstrapping parameters,
they had a name in there.
We had the template stack.
So that's what's going to talk to Panorama and say, well, when the firewalls check in, they say, I've been provisioned as part of this. And Panorama's like, cool, I've been expecting you.
Yeah.
Let me associate. And then, because that's ticked, we'll also deploy the latest content ID stuff.
Exactly.
And then it'll push the policies, perform a commit, and we're actually done.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I would say the 4 tenets of a functioning firewall is you have a software, PanOS, running, right? License. We're doing the licensing as part of the licensing plugin. Needs a configuration policy network. That's the 3rd tenant, and Panorama is going to take care of that. And the content updates
is automatically.
Automatic, yeah. Which kinda, I mean, if you're not, we don't need to upgrade PanOS. So I would say basic bootstrapping is enough, right?
Yeah.
Because we have all we need.
Yeah. Well, that's fully, technically, that's done.
Yeah.
Well, assuming your policies for natting and things, they're not. Are they? We need the IP address.
I have the policies here. Let's see how our script is going. It's deploying. So what we have here, we have the policy. By the way, let's start with the network. Maybe that's a good place to go. The interfaces. We said we have like 2 interfaces, right?
Yep.
Public, private, and there's a management interface as well. So the data planes, public, private, it's here. Layer 3. One thing you when you go and deploy this, because we are using common firewall model, we need 2 virtual routers.
Yeah.
And that's because of the health check and the source IP address. If you can go and read about the health check probes. So that's all configured here.
Okay.
And then we have the policy. It's a simple security policy.
You might need to change it to the right
Yeah,
device
I need
group.
to change the device group. Always gets me.
There we are. Yeah. All right, cool. So in the Azure Transit device group, we have, so these are policies you created ahead of time.
Yeah.
Which is allow, so that destination IP, did you get that ahead of time?
So that destination IP address is our public load balancer. And we don't have the IP address yet, right?
Okay,
it's
so we're
deploying.
going to have to come, yeah, so we'll come back in here,
exactly.
add the real IP in.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, I'm excited. And I noticed something as well. If we go back to, I don't know if it was in the device group. I think it was. It says associated VM devices or associated devices. Yeah, if you go into the device group itself. And we go into, that Azure Transit one. Yeah, click in.
Yeah, that's, you're talking about?
Not the auth code, but I click into it itself.
No, it was under template, I think.
Oh, okay. So under the template, it actually lists the associated devices.
The template stack.
Yeah, that makes sense. And on the right-hand side, you see it's got no devices in stack
Yeah.
at the moment. But once they're provisioned, so in maybe half an hour, however long Microsoft takes to build these things, we'll see that pop up.
Yeah.
And then I guess the last step is get the IP address of that load balancer that gets created, part of this template. Terraform
Script.
and then
template as well.
Theoretically, we should be able to browse the Cafe Coffee Co site.
Yeah.
So while we wait,
excited to see.
Let's do some bouldering. I think it's time. It's boulder time.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah. We got about. Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
This ain't new to me. This ain't new to me. This ain't new to me. Mario, you're technical.
Imagine that when it's time to get bread, I don't panic, man. When they ask what I do for a living, I just say I make paper appear like the magic man. Imagine that when it's time to get bread, I don't panic, man. I keep cool and calm like the attic fan. We make paper appear like the magic man. Imagine that when it's time to get bread, I don't panic, man. When they ask what I do for a living, I just say I make paper appear like the magic man. Imagine that when it's time to get bread, I don't panic, man. Keep cool and calm like the attic fan. We make paper appear like the magic man.
Look, man, I don't wanna hear no talk. Look, man, I don't wanna hear no talk. Look, man, I don't wanna hear no talk. Man, I don't wanna hear no talk. Look, man, I don't wanna hear no talk. Look, man, I don't wanna hear no talk. Look, man, I don't wanna hear no talk. Wanna hear no talk, no talk, no talk. This ain't new to me. This ain't new to me. This ain't new to me. This ain't new to me.
All right. So where is the script / template left us?
So all the resources we needed are deployed. As you see, like this is the output for our Terraform template. We have the public load balancer, the private load balancer. Actually, this is the front end for the private load balancer, and this is the front end for public load balancer.
I see.
And we're going to use this IP address to publish our www.cafecoffeeco.com.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, but first we have to make sure this IP address is allowed in our security policy, and also the NAT policy in our firewall is.
So when a packet comes in with that destination, it gets sent to the actual
Exactly. It does a
server.
destination NAT and changes to, to the private IP address of the server.
Right.
Okay. But before we do that, I just wanted to go back to our design.
Yeah. So what have we built?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is all we have built, right? I mean, we saw the 4 IP addresses for the firewalls, the public load balancer, private load balancer. One thing is worth mentioning is this user-defined route. So we said that private load balancer is going to act as the default gateway for the app VNet or at least web app. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
So while the script was running and basically Terraform was building our infrastructure, what I did was I went and defined that route.
Okay.
Okay, the user-defined route.
Yep.
By the way, this is our Azure portal. We have 3 different resource groups. One resource group for our app setup, another resource group for our management, which is Panorama, and the VNet for management. And then also we have the transit resource group.
Now, you didn't create these manually. They were done.
They're all done,
in the Terraform template itself.
So the last one, this one is the one where we just did, like we deployed.
Yes.
Right? We applied Terraform configuration. The other 2, I already built them like a few hours ago.
Okay. Using a Terraform template as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's all in Pandev template?
No, those 2 actually, the app part is Cafe Coffee Co's app, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
The
Specific
Panorama
to this
is in
environment.
Pandev, yeah.
And management?
Management is Panorama, so yeah.
Yeah, okay,
it's
gotcha,
Pandev,
gotcha.
Yeah. It's not exactly the same script. I have like the same
Tweaked a
template.
few
You have
things.
to, yeah.
Right, but you can go
exactly.
grab that script if you want someone to start. How
The
to deploy it.
modules and the example scripts are, yeah.
Of course, you could just go and hit create and make each one individually and assign them. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Why
You
would
can
you?
just, do it manually.
All right.
Okay, so these are all the resources under that app resource group.
And I can see virtual machine. That was built, that's the one that hosts our Cafe Coffee Co website.
Exactly.
And this is the one where we need to adjust the routing.
Yeah, we make sure that, I've already done the adjustment. I just want to show
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
how,
yeah.
how
Let's
the
have a look.
routing table looks like.
Yeah, please.
And yeah, I was doing it while the script was running. So I go under the VM networking. It has one interface called this guy here. And when I go under the interface, let's go all the way to effective routes. So this is the effective route. It's a user-defined route and pointing to our
internal load balancer. The internal IP of the internal load balancer.
The front-end IP address of the the internal load balancer, as you see here.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That makes sense because it's going. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's that. Let's go and see actually the bootstrapping logs, or maybe we can just see the devices under the software licensing. So if I go here and click on show devices, you see the devices are
beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's got the 2 names there, CCC Firewall 0102, which is part of the template that you built. We saw that before.
Exactly.
They each have a now unique IP address assigned. That's within Azure. They each have a serial number that who knows where that came from. Plugin.
Yeah.
Nice. They're connected.
They're connected, and let's see the logs as well. So I've already defined a filter here. My filter, So as you see here, it's like this is the plugin logs, right?
Oh yeah, right.
Everything is licensed, and I guess if I'm lucky, I would see the firewall registration log somewhere down here as well.
VM config added.
Panorama push, and probably in the other part.
Up a bit, I can see one there. If you go up 2 more lines, just where you're, don't do that. Up 2 more. 2 more up. 1 up. That one, that looks interesting.
Yeah, that was the software NGFW.
New firewall has been licensed.
The software firewall license.
That's awesome.
And another thing we can check is also going under Manage Devices Summary. Right?
Yeah, that's awesome. And you can see they're in sync and everything's pushed. What we do need to do though, we now have a new IP address.
Exactly.
We got to push that in policy.
So if I go, let's do something here. Let's go and try to access www.cafecoffeeco.com.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And to make sure my DNS configuration is
Right.
right, yeah, I'm just going to try the IP address too, right?
Yeah. Okay.
In case I made a typo in the DNS entry. Let's do the IP address. This is the front end IP address for our
the public-facing load balancer, right?
Cafe Coffee Co is clearly not loading. Then they go for HTTP and the IP address. Still
Same.
no success. Okay, now we know why.
Yeah, we've got a front-end load balancer that's sending stuff to our firewall, which is not doing anything with that.
Exactly.
So we need to build a DNAT rule that...
The DNAT rule is in place because that's part of that baseline.
Yeah, you've already got it. We need to tweak the DNAT rule.
Exactly. So I've used objects to make my life easier.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so if I go under this guy here and change the IP address and push the config to the firewalls, that should do the job. Okay, commit and push.
Yep. Fire in the hole.
Yeah.
And so communicating with our two firewalls, they'll get the new config, they'll have the updated object, which now has, we don't need to do anything else, right? It should just work.
Yeah, it should just work.
Hopefully.
While the config is pushing, I'm just gonna log into one of these firewalls.
Oh.
Yeah, because you remember Panorama is a management only Panorama.
Yeah,
so if you want to
that's
see
right.
the logs,
We don't have the logs being forwarded to Panorama yet. Radio.
HTTPS. Just gonna stick to firewall 1. I'm hoping that everything is sent to firewall 1. So, yeah.
Has two firewalls.
Uh,
It's always in the last place you look.
Yeah, two.
Ah, dear.
Let's say demo gods are with us today. Okay. Hope I have the password. Okay. So let's check the policy. Clearly policy is here.
Yep.
Now let's see if the new IP address is reflected. It is, right? That's the IP address.
And if we take a look at the NAT policy, because we're just looking at security.
We can take a look at NAT policy. Let's go here.
Yep, so I can see there, inbound out. If you hit my destination address, I will, on port 80, I will send you to CCC web app.
Yeah.
Which is the IP address of that server, which we had ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, awesome.
That's a static IP address.
Yeah.
We set the IP address.
Yeah, gotcha. Manually assigned.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's try it.
Okay, let's go. Oh
there
my gosh,
you go.
it's beautiful.
We have it.
So, just so you guys are aware, this wonderful sample was generated by ChatGPT. We asked it to create a website for Cafe Coffee Co., the wonderful Australian amazing coffee company, founded by Renan and Hadi. You can see that. Thank you, ChatGPT. Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, to make sure it's my traffic, let's do one thing here.
Yeah, sure.
What is my IP address? Right? We can
and
filter
then
the
view
source.
logs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my IP address.
134.
And gonna go again. Firewall 1 monitor. I'm gonna use your trick.
Good. Yeah, this is a good pro tip. Instead of building the filter manually, just click on any of the values you want and then just overwrite them in the field at the top. Oh, look at that.
There you have it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we had a really good question come in from Nick Sutcliffe, and he asks, what's the difference between VM series on Azure public cloud versus the cloud NGFW, which is technically a separate product? So any thoughts, comments on that question?
I guess the best way I can put it is whatever we have done so far, installing the firewall, basically in future upgrades, right?
Right.
That's all managed by us, by Cafe Coffee Co. Now, if you want to move to a simpler way of doing firewalling, a firewall as a service, then Cloud NGFW is the answer. It's owned and operated by Palo Alto Networks.
Right.
You basically go and enable the subscription in the cloud marketplace. And the scaling, I think one thing we didn't cover really here was we could have replaced those firewalls with VM scale sets, right? So just to scale out in the case of
horizontally scaling.
Horizontally scaling.
Right.
And that aspect of it is built in Cloud NGFW.
Oh, so let's configure.
Yeah,
right,
it's built-in scalability, built-in resiliency. So HA and different zones and stuff like that.
So everything we've done up to this point has been on VM series firewalls.
Exactly.
We're using the plugin. We're using the licensing structure, NGFW credits to assign and whatnot. With the cloud NGFW, you don't have to do any of that. It's literally you're buying a firewall as a service effectively.
Exactly. And the policy definition, called rule stack, rule set definition, is on the customer, right? So
so you still have to build firewall rules and everything like that, but you're not in charge
the
of
maintenance
HA,
and
scaling. Maintenance, so you say like PanOS updates and dynamic updates and stuff, that's all taken care of. It's literally just, here's your firewalls, make policies to suit your needs. Right. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so thank you so much for that question, Nick. We are going to send you some Learning Happy Hour swag your way. So check your mail for that one. And for everyone else, please, there's a link in the description below. We are taking questions. If you guys have any questions on something that you'd like to see or be answered on a later Learning Happy Hour episode, please fill it out. And if your question gets selected, we too will send you some goodies in the mail. So please be in contact.
What if I ask questions?
No questions for you. All right. So the last thing we discussed earlier was if you wanted to deprovision or the idea of having a lab that you build up and maybe those firewalls in that lab die and we need to recover those licenses, what would that look like? So let's give that a whirl. Can we shut some of these firewalls down?
We can shut down our second firewall, I think.
Okay.
That's...
which will cease all communication between it and Panorama.
Yeah.
And then basically emulating like it died. Then let's see, can we get Panorama to
deactivate the firewall
and bring
the licenses?
And actually, while we're there, let's have a look at the Azure license.
Oh yeah,
consumption.
Good call. So here again, I need to refresh. Hopefully, I don't need to log in. Okay, cool, good. There you go.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. So it's consumed all of the credits we allocated. Oh, love it.
If I go for view devices, I have my two firewalls, and I guess what I can do also make sure that this serial number is exactly matching the serial number we see there.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the dashboard, and there you go. 354.
Yep.
The last three digits, and 354.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome.
No, that worked great. All right. So oops, one of them's dead. All right. Let's suck that license back in to use it for another project.
Let's see if that firewall is showing up disconnected here.
Yeah, good point. It
out
is.
Out of sync.
Well, out of sync. Yeah, disconnected, out of sync. Awesome.
Okay. So,
kill it with fire. How do we do that?
Do you want me to delete that? Maybe.
Whatever it takes. Like we'll assume it's dead.
Let's go and delete them.
Oh, from us. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing, right?
Sure.
Let's delete.
Yeah, we'll just do it from here.
Okay. So.
Like maybe it's on someone's on-prem ESXi. Give me my license back. All right, Hadi. So now we've very brutally deleted one of those firewalls, right? Ungracefully deleted firewall number 2. There it is. So we can see here under device state, it's disconnected. So it's not a clean by any means. It's just killed. So let's go into the plugin section now.
The software plugin license managers.
Awesome. And show devices here. And hopefully what we'll see We do. So the second one here is,
disconnected.
Awesome. So now it's disconnected. It's the same as if we had someone working at home or in a home lab or something, and it's gone, and we just want to recover it. So can we?
Yeah, we're going to deactivate it, right? But let's go also make sure the device is here. Yeah, okay. Now we have device, it's registered, it's using around 36 credits.
Yep,
right.
35.
So,
all right, so from Panorama,
let's go and say deactivate.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
And this will take a few minutes, I assume.
Let's go back to our customer support center.
Can't be that fast. Maybe. That'd be impressive.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
One device. Yeah.
That. Cool. I like that a lot.
And as you see, like half of the credits.
Yeah, it's using half the credits. Alrighty, so we covered a lot in this session of Learning Happy Hour. So if you like what you saw, if you want to learn more about some of the different technologies we've been looking at, the fundamentals for our firewalls, our course EDU 210 covers you there. It's a 5-day course delivered through our ATP community. So check it out, links in the description below. And we utilize Panorama quite a bit in this episode too. So we have a 2-day course on Panorama, device groups and templates, and some of the things you saw that Hadi built out. So if you're interested in that course, it's the EDU 220. Again, links in the description below. Thanks, guys. All right, well, guys, this has been eye-opening for me. I certainly learned a lot. So thanks so much, Hadi, for building everything for us and walking us through this process. And it's a very similar process whether you're talking about Azure versus AWS versus, say, GCP. You just need to go to pan.dev to grab the relevant templates to build it. But conceptually, it's kind of the same. And
also, I would say, sorry to interrupt. I would say just read the architecture guide, reference guide, and understand
you mentioned that
what
too.
you're getting into
before getting into
yeah.
That makes sense. We'll link all of that in the description below, so please check out those links. Again, thanks for watching the episode, and if you want to learn more about Hadi, you can find him on, we'll say, LinkedIn. So just search for Hadi Zadeh. Anything else you want to add?
No, thank you. It was great to be here, and it was a pleasure
to
be on your show.
Thanks for sharing your hobby and the bouldering, because oof.
Thanks for joining me.
Awesome. Thanks. See you guys. Take care.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
嘘だったらそうだったら僕のさ